The wood grows around the walls of the Mansus. As any student of the Histories knows, the Mansus has no walls. Christopher Illopoly, traveling at night. This is a loading screen from the opening of Cultist Simulator. Many people, if they even made it this far, are now even more put off from playing the game. But for some, a cold opening like this already has its hooks into them. What is the Mansus? What woods? Why is the word Histories capitalized? Let me hit you with a few more phrases. Fallen London, Sunless Sea, Alexis Kennedy. If you know any of those terms, you can probably stop right here and go buy Cultist Simulator. But for everyone else, stick around and find out why Cultist Simulator is an amazing game that you probably won't like. Cultist Simulator is a game that was released in 2018, and it is a very interesting title. I would say it was a very experimental game. This is Alexis Kennedy, after moving away from Fallen London and Sunless Sea, going off and working on his own project. It is a 1920s macabre, occult, mystery type game, and the main gameplay loop is trying to explore this hidden realm, this thing beneath the surface of the world, this ache in the back of your mind, this itch you cannot scratch. And the hard part about recommending this game to somebody is the discovery is the game. If I told you exactly how the game played, I have already ruined the game for you. I will say that I was able to finally beat this game after over 90 hours of playtime, over several years, quite a few attempts. And I beat it on what appears to be, after the fact, looking it up, one of the easier major victories. I got several what are called minor victories before that, but that was an accomplishment. I did in the very end have to look up one minor detail on the wiki that I don't think was actually spelled out anywhere, so I don't feel too bad about it. But beyond that, I did it blind. And that put a smile on my face. I was very proud of that, because this is a very difficult game. And ironically enough, it's one of those games that if you know exactly what you're doing, or you just wiki it, you could probably speed run this game in half an hour. So this is what the game looks like when we first load in. And this is most of what you will see in this entire game. I can move my screen around a little bit. It appears to be just blackness. And in front of us is this table. And when we zoom in here, we only have a couple interactable objects. There's no tutorial to this game. This is literally the cold opening. And again, what a hurdle, but also the starting point of a pretty amazing journey. So if we look around, okay, well, I have some things that highlight. I can click and drag the table around. I can move it. Down here it says click to name the aspirant. Okay, so I can click this. What do I do? Oh, I can type. Okay. It doesn't appear to have done anything. Okay, let's come up here. Oh, hey, it highlights. I can click. Work. Earn a living or practice the invisible arts. Okay, what do I do? Okay, look, this box lights up. What if I click it? Oh, it's making things blink. Okay. Oh, I can drag the card. Oh, and it changed things. And this is how you explore this entire game. Again, it is not a game for the faint of heart. It tells you literally everything you need to know. You just have to read and reread and reread, because unlike minigames, the details matter. Little odd offside comments on one thing might be a pivotal clue for you progressing to a victory in this game. So like right here, we put our menial employment into this box, and it says another shift at the hospital, another ship mopping the darkened hallways, delivering posts to hollow-eyed invalids, trudging corpse-laden gurneys to the basement. and I can start it. And now we can see that's progressing. It appears to be some sort of time system going on here. Oh, and things changed and other things are moving. Another shift at the hospital. Halfway through your shift, the head porter beckons you aside. We won't require your services any longer, he says. Here, your last payment. We've paid you through the end of the month. I've lost my job. At least now I have a little time to rest and my health improves. Dream is unlocked. And it looks like we have some more cards. We could collect them. And we have some things here. When I click them, they say that they're aspects. Okay, that's something interesting. There's symbols here. Aspect heart. Oh, we've got funds. Okay, what else do we have? And some health. Oh, that has aspect of the heart on it too. What if I collect those? Oh, okay, they went out there. Now I just have a work card. What's this do? Recall my dreams. And this is the beginning gameplay loop of the whole game. It is a game about exploration. Like, okay, well, what if I put money in here? Can I work for money? You can't put that here. What about if I put work health? Oh, it changed. Unskilled labor. Backbreaking labor for meager pay. Is this the best I can do? Okay, and I can start that. Oh, and it's got a timer running there. Okay. Move it on. Oh, I can move these things. Oh, I can move that around. This is a game that wants you to explore. They want you to click everything. They want you to read everything. Look at tooltips. Think about them. Aspect, ingredient, fuel, ointment, pigment, patience. All are consumed in time. You can do some minor control of time. We can fast forward. We can go to normal and we can pause. Let's see what happened here. Recall my dreams. It began when I spoke to the old man in the hospital. He knew my name, but he's dead now. The pneumonia. Why do I dream of him still? What is the cobalt light in my dreams? Time is now passing. We got passion. Dull minds are never either intuitive or mathematical. Blaise Pascal. We got contentment. I'm happy, I think. Contentment defends against dread, but contentment doesn't last. And we also opened up a new action. A change in the air. I need funds to live, but perhaps this recent upset in my circumstances is a secret blessing. Is there something to my dreams? There is a change in the air. So, in this game, it's a game about learning, about lore, about tempo, about getting multiple plates spinning at the same time, and knowing when you need to push your tempo and really push your objective, and when it's time to just back off and let things cool down, let things recharge, maybe get the people who are interested in what you're doing to maybe forget about what you've been doing and slide back into the shadows so that you can work on other things. Unskilled labor here. We got vitality. Again, we have different aspects on this. We have, oh, we earned the money. Okay, so we can use our health to make money. Okay, now we know we need money to live because we have to pay for food and rent and things like that. So we could do unskilled labor, but man, that's really not efficient. I mean, every minute we earn 1 money and 1 minute we spend 1 money. So that's not gonna work for long. And look at this, our health is fatigued. I can't work when my health is fatigued. Oh, but if I move it, look at that glows. This is a game that is very rewarding if you're willing to put the time and effort into it. Reading those little quotes. Who is Christopher Illopoly? Why do I care? What does it matter? What was he writing about? That comes up in the game. Those things are important. He's a person that exists in this world and he knows things that we don't understand yet. And the main gameplay loop here is you need to stay alive, you need to explore, and there's things that don't want you to do that. And the further you go in the game, the more frantic it feels. All these timers. Now, I can freely pause at any moment, but it starts feeling frantic. You get this like fugue state of a fever pitch of, oh, I'm so close to this objective I'm trying to do. If I just get this timer to give me that, and then I think I can combine this with this other thing, and you just get in this zone, and it's so satisfying when you're like, wait a minute, I think that A plus B is going to give me C, and you try it, and it actually works. It feels logical. And as you're feeling out blindly in the game, you're going to die. You're going to die a lot, because you're not going to realize, why do I care if I get despair? Why am I worried about this fascination thing? And every time you'll learn something new, and you'll go on further and further. And one of the cool things about this game is, after a single run ends, you'll get to choose another start, and it will remember what your previous character was doing to a small degree. So in this one, we are the aspirant. So this is our story. We worked in the hospital. We lost our job. We were kind of friends with an old man in the hospital who died. Right here, we can see a bequest arrives. The old man has bequeathed to me a sum of money and a packet of peculiar papers, poetry, riddles, metaphysical speculations. For the first time in months, here is some fuel for my reason. Study is unlocked. Oh, look at that. He gave us nine funds. That's huge. That's 9 days of work for us. He gave us a bequest, and we unlocked our reason. Okay, what do we do next? Well, we can always click here and see, okay, we can study health, or the purposes of this, I'm going to study the bequest. How are we going to study it? We could use our reason, or we could use passion. Let's do reason. Examine the bequest, employing reason. I'll examine each item with meticulous care. We'll fast forward that along here. And as time is going, you're going to have multiple, I believe these are called verbs. So work is a verb. And we have different cards that we can do things with. And look at this. These vitalities have timers on them. I wonder what I can do with these before I run out of time. And that's a big part of it, is exploring, like, okay, can I work with vitality? No. Can I study vitality or dream about vitality? No. Okay. Maybe let's let study go up here. Examine the bequest, employing reason. My correspondent describes my dreams exactly. They use names that are instantly familiar. The house, the wood, the hours, the glory. They knew secrets beneath time and the skin of the world. A new curiosity burns in me. There's a note here. Directions to a bookshop that does not advertise its wares. We have directions to Moorlands. We have temptation, enlightenment. It has occurred to me that I hold the key to wisdom. This card will allow you to win an enlightenment victory if you upgrade it far enough. Dreaming about it might advance it or change it. A watchman's secret. It has been expressed like this. Each hour has its color, but color exists only where there is light. And I'll just note, they capitalized the word hour. That's kind of peculiar. Notes on a possible collaborator. My correspondent has recorded his observations of me. He believes I had potential. He recorded his observations of someone else too. With time and study, perhaps I can find that person. All right, so what do we want to do next? We could study the directions. We could study this collaborator. We could study this secret. Oh, we don't have anything else we could fill this box with. Okay, well, we can't do that yet. What if we studied vitality? Increase my health. I'll need more. More vitality. Oh, I have a second vitality. Exercise the body. I am abrim with vitality. If I devote some time to exercise, I'll benefit. Now, I don't want to go much further than this because I will start showing off spoilers of things to come. If any of this has intrigued you, this is a great game. I think it's worth it at full price, but it often goes on sale. It's got a few DLCs that add some other storylines. As I mentioned earlier, we're playing the aspirant, but in the base game, there's other ones like the Doctor, where you play as a like psychiatrist, mental institution doctor, and things happened, and you're coming back to your job after needing to take some time off. And there's several other ones in the base game. In the DLCs, they add some more advanced ones that are very interesting and play with different game mechanics in different ways. And there's even a DLC called The Exile, which totally changes how the game plays. So there's a lot of content here if it gets its hooks into you. For my purposes, what I want to propose to you is you should check out this game. If anything in here has interested you so far, like I mentioned before, it's hard to show off because I already know the answers to the riddles. So I could probably speed through here. I could probably beat the game in about 2 hours now because I know exactly what I need to do, and I know the lore and I know what goes together and how to do what. But this is such a great game for people who enjoy lore and riddles and macabre. Now, the downside, it's a very hard game. You can accidentally lose a game of hours and hours and hours with a moment of inattentiveness. My first almost victory, I literally looked down at my phone because somebody texted me and I missed a timer and ended up dying. So it has this frantic pace to it, which is really, really on brand for this feeling of like this person who's discovered this occult thing and they want it really bad. And you're getting the yarn out and you have a cork board that you're trying to fit all the pieces together, the hours, the wood, the Mansus. What does this mean? Why are we walking in darkness? It's very thematic, but it's definitely not for everyone. Like I said, this is most of the game. There is a little bit more, but it would be spoilers to show it. But if this looks exceedingly boring to you and clicking on and reading pieces of lore, later on we will get books. A big part of this game is finding pieces of lore like this. Aspect the lantern. Life is a pure flame, and we live by an invisible sun within us. Thomas Brown. Lantern is the principle of the secret place, sometimes called the House of the Sun, and of the light above it. If this is all boring to you, you're not going to like Cultist Simulator. But if you like reading and you like the theme of like an occult 1920s in a adjacent history with a capital H, this game will grip you, and it will grip you hard. And I actually have a little bit of an ulterior motive here. There's actually a sequel to this game. The sequel to this game is called Book of Hours, and Book of Hours is a not sequel. It takes place after this game, although not necessarily as a direct sequel. It's in the same world, and it takes place in the Histories, and about 10 years later, about 1930s. And that game is getting a DLC in a couple weeks that I am quite interested in. I have not played very far into Book of Hours, so I want to go into it mostly blind because that's where the fun of this game is. However, in order to enjoy Book of Hours, I think most people would appreciate a little bit of background into Cultist Simulator because we're going to be dealing with a lot of the same concepts. If you don't care what an hour is or a long is or why everyone's so obsessed with the Mansus, Book of Hours isn't going to do a lot for you. And it's a very different game. While Cultist Simulator has that arcane fever dream franticness to it, Book of Hours is very different. It's I've given up on the world and I've gone away to this distant place, and I'm gonna spend my time here quietly working and unraveling mysteries. But I think to have the full appreciation of it, you do need to have a little background. So my challenge to you, if you made it this far, if any of that interested you at all, you should play through Cultist Simulator. Don't watch people play too far because there's an early game spoiler that I think will ruin it for you. If you're a person that likes to explore, and this is a game about puzzle solving and your personal knowledge and skill, and that'll be ruined if you're not one of those people, it is a pretty fun game, and watching somebody do a playthrough of it, especially if they were playing through it blind, will give you a pretty good taste of what the game has to offer. And in a few weeks, when I start doing some Book of Hours, I would greatly appreciate people joining in for that. My hope is that we can kind of play it together blind, and as a community, we can kind of problem solve and guess and explore. There are issues that Books of Hours has on its own, and we'll explore those when we talk about that game in its totality. In closing here, I think Cultist Simulator is an absolutely amazing experimental indie game that you probably won't like, but if you do, congratulations, you just found a new obsession. Okay, builders, hopefully this one was enough to pique your interest a little bit, and I hope to see you when we do some Book of Hours content.